Alright, hello everyone, Andre is here. Let's talk about images and semantics. So the question is it semantic? You see, IMG tag, it relates to image. Is it a semantic element? Does it say anything about this element? You might say, oh yes, of course, because this is image. I can see it's not a div, it's not a span, it's image, so it's probably semantic. But the right answer is no, it is not a semantic element because we don't know what this image is about. Images are complex in a sense that visual people can see what's inside of that image, but screen reader doesn't have eyes as humans do. So when screen reader will see this tag, the machine will have no idea what this image is about, what is on this image. So, and to illustrate that, let's see you are not able to see the image, you only see the code. Can you tell me what this image is about? What is in this image? There is no way you can say it, and I gave it a name on purpose. Even name doesn't give you a hint what this image is about. Now let me open that image for you and I will show you it. Oh, now I can see that these are a group of people standing, smiling. They're wearing a professional dresses. So, oh, now it makes sense to me what this image is about, but only when I see it. Again, assistive devices, they are for users who are not able to see, and screen readers are not able to see what this image is about. This is our task, and this is the problem with this code. It's not accessible. It's not a valid HTML. Well, when I say it's not accessible, that means that assistive devices cannot recognize what this element is about, and it also is not a valid HTML. If you will use any validator for HTML, you will give this validator this code, the code will be flagged as invalid. So to make it accessible or to make it a semantic and to fix that problem, you would need alternative text or alt attribute added to your image. That alt attribute is there for a reason. It is a description of an image for those users who cannot see, but they can understand if screen reader will read aloud for them this description. And as I showed to you, this let's put it here. So that image is about a group photo of our marketing team in front of the office building. This is just an example of an alternative text. Now when we know why we need alternative text and how to add it, there are 6 best practices, I would say, how to create a good alternative text. Obviously, there can be bad alternative text. We would like to avoid that. So, in order to create a good alternative text, we will follow these 6 steps. Be descriptive but concise. Avoid redundancy. Don't use picture or image as a word in your alternative text. Take context into account. Summarize key message. If the image is complex, consider the user's perspective. All this I will go into the detail, is just a summary of what I'm going to talk. So let's say I have the first image and the first rule, be descriptive but concise. And I have this one PNG as an example. So to be descriptive but concise, that means that the text should clearly describe what this image is about, but we would like to avoid long descriptions and focus on the important parts. And this is, let me show you a bad example and a good example of alternative text. So bad example would be very verbose, a close-up image of a fresh red apple sitting on a pristine white ceramic plate, slightly tilted, with a glossy surface that reflects light. Well, that may be true about this image, but this is too much for an alternative text. alternative text should be concise, should be short. Let's keep it straight to the point. Red apple on a white plate. That's all what we need in our description in alternative text for this particular image. The next one would be avoid redundancy. So let's open image number 2. And what that means, we do not want to repeat the information that's already there on the page surrounding our image. So let's say we have this graph in our HTML, and this is the HTML that I have. And let's say I have it heading level 2, sales decrease in 2024. And right below this heading, I will have this image. So the bad alt text would be a bar chart showing sales decrease over the past year for the year 2024. Why this is bad? Why a better alternative text would be to remove this mentioning of the year, because the year is mentioned on the page itself in HTML code. When screen reader is reading this text, there is no need to duplicate the same in alternative text. If that image is close enough to the text on the page. So you take into the consideration the text which appears around the image as part of your HTML, and try not to duplicate the same text as part of your alternative text for the image. The number 3 is this one. This looks like a sunset. And the rule is, please don't use picture or image, because screen readers already know that this is an image. They know it by IMG tag, so there is no need to tell the screen reader in alternative text that this is the image of something or picture of something. So the bad alternative text in this case will be image of a sunset over the ocean. You can use just sunset over the ocean or sunset over the ocean with vibrant orange and red colors. You can add some description here, but you don't need image or picture as part of your alternative text. Best practice number 4, take context into account. The context means at what part of a page this image appears. So let me take this number 4. This is a company logo, and let's assume I have this logo of a company. Like it usually happens, when you click on a logo, you land on the home page. That's the default behavior and best practice for any web page. So usually the image is a link to a home page. And if it is the case for this image, it's not enough to put alternative text as logo. It's better if we will specify which logo. It's company logo and comma link to a home page as part of your alternative text. That will signify to a screen reader that this is an image which is a company logo, and it will lead to a home page. The number 5 is summarize key message for complex images. Yes, we can have complex images like this, like market shares, pie charts, or maybe bar graphs. A lot of information can be part of that image. How to describe that in alternative text? That's a good question. We need to summarize the key message. What is the key message of this image? What is the most important part? Not colors, not probably something else. We would like to focus on a specific information that image is trying to convey. Let's see an example. The bad alternative text obviously would be just pie chart. Of course it is a pie chart, but what this pie chart is about, it's better to explain in your good alternative text. Here it's just an example. I'm mentioning some regions, some numbers for those regions, at least to give like a summary of what users are able to see on that image. Number 6, consider users' perspective. This is number 6. These two men are smiling to each other, but maybe that's not the important part. Let's consider the user's perspective, the user who is looking at this image. What information is the most important about it. What my user should know about the image, and this is considered user's perspective. And the example would be the bad alternative text, just two people shaking hands. Yes, it is true, they are two people, they do shake hands, but maybe that's not the most important about that image. Maybe we can make it more verbose. They are colleagues, so two colleagues shaking hands, and in a professional setting. So there is some like kind of a background or setting. Uh, this text conveys more meaning about the image to the user and giving a perspective who are these people, not just people, they are colleagues where they are shaking hands in a professional setting. That's better than just two people shaking hands. So that was rule number 6. A good question: when alternative text can be empty, and it is true, the alternative text can be empty. There are occasions when alternative text is strictly not required. Let me show you that example with the button. Here I have a button. The button has a subscribe as a text and icon or image of a bell. So this will be my HTML here. I have a button, subscribe text, and image of a bell. In this case, you can see that in my code I have empty string as alternative text. That's perfectly fine when image is purely decorative. So this is a decoration. This is just a design of a button. This image of a bell, it doesn't convey any special meaning. It doesn't add value to that button. The button itself and the text subscribe conveys the idea or the role of that button. This button is used for subscriptions. The bell icon or an image is just a decoration, and we can omit alternative text in this case. But as I mentioned above, our HTML will be invalid if we don't have alternative text. That's why we always add alternative attribute, but we can leave it empty as an empty string if our image is purely decorative. I hope that clarifies the alternative text for images.